Okay, this is the part where I come down and I get to know you all a little bit better, but just before I get started with that, I want to give a shout out to two friends of mine in the audience. Is that you there? I want you to raise your hands when I call your name. You're not famous, sit down. Bruce Welsh from the Shadows. Where is he? Raise your hand, Bruce. There he is. And Craig Allen from the Circlers. Raise your hand. Good. Okay. Now, time to talk to you. I'm going to tell you some stuff about myself, okay? I was born in Detroit, June 3rd, 1950. Exactly, which makes me a very proud 75. I can still do this. So I come from a musical family, 5 children, 4 girls, 1 boy, that's me there. My father was a musician his whole life, and all of his kids, it's not even something to brag about. We all play minimum, read and write and play, 3 instruments each. It's just the way we were raised. Yeah, he gave us good stuff. Okay, so 1964, my elder sister, the one on the bottom left there, she decided we should form an all-girl band. So we got 2 sisters from around the corner and another girl on this side whose dad played in my dad's band, and we all got together in the Quatro kitchen and we were discussing a good name for this all-girl band. And somebody said, the Pleasure Seekers. And my mom happened to be standing at the sink. And she came over immediately. She said, oh, no, you don't. You are not calling a teenage all-girl band the Pleasure Seekers. So I said, okay, Mom, do you have another idea? She said, yes. Call yourself the 5 Little Chickadees. So the Pleasure Seekers went on the road. And that band lasted from 1964 all the way up to 1971. We worked constantly all over America. And then a very famous record producer came to Detroit, Mickey Most. He's up there now for a while. Love you. He came over to Detroit with Jeff Beck, Cozy Powell, and they were coming to record at the Motown studios. My brother found out he was in town and got him to come and see the band I was with. And at the end of the show, Mickey offered me a solo contract. Now the funny thing about that is this was the second time in 1 week that I'd had an offer to go solo. So that is the universe telling you it's time to go. The first one was from Elektra Records, and they wanted to take me to New York and turn me into the next Janis Joplin. Mickey said, come to London and I'll turn you into the first Suzi Quatro. So that's kind of a no-brainer. So I got my bass guitar, I packed my suitcase, and I had a cassette of 25 songs that I'd written in preparation. I jumped on the airplane, flew across the ocean, landed here October 31st, 1971. And I still talk like this, it's amazing. Okay, a couple of days later, I'm sitting in the rack offices and Mickey is playing my marathon demo tape. And a little bit worrying, he kept going, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Oh shit, fast forward. Finally, he stopped on a song. It was like 10 seconds of a song, just a little thing that I was doing. And he said, that's the song you work on. So I'm going to play it for you. This is called Ain't You Something, Honey?
Expect
Mickey had a reputation for having wonderful talent spotting. You know, he could spot a guy and he'd go, that one, that one, that one. And he also, I'm going to come down here a bit closer now. He also had great musical ears. So he heard something in that song that pointed the way to my musical future. And he was correct, because by May of 1973, with a nice little boogie, I had my first #1, which goes like this. Later. So that started the Quatro Express train going, and from then we did non-stop TV shows, non-stop radio interviews, non-stop recording sessions, non-stop traveling around the world during gigs, non-stop jet lag. It's just how I live now. Nothing's changed. Okay, rolling through the years. 1977, I was in Japan on tour, and I got a phone call. Would I fly from Tokyo to LA and come and audition for a part in Happy Days? Which I did. Leather Tuscadero, I got the part, which lasted 3 seasons. And the good thing is I have maintained a close friendship with Anson Williams, Donnie Most, Henry Winkler, and Ronnie Howard. So, very pleased with that. And I just got to say, I'm absolutely honored to have been a part of that iconic TV show. Okay, so then I came back here and I did some English songs. I did Minder. I did Dempsey and Makepeace. They killed me in that. I did Midsummer Murders. They killed me in that. I did Ab-Fab, and I stayed alive on that one. Then I went to musical theater. I was Annie Oakley and Annie Itchicon at the Aldrich Theater. Fantastic experience that was. I just loved it. I wrote a musical about Tallulah Bankhead called Tallulah Who, which is up there. And I sent that picture to my mother. And she said, why didn't they use you? Okay, then I went to BBC Radio 2, and I was on that station for 15 years. And I was even up for the Broadcaster of the Year at the Sony Radio Awards, so I'm very proud of that. And would you like to hear my radio voice? Hi everybody, this is Suzi Quatro. Welcome to the show. Then I started to write books, and I'm happy to say, very proud to say, I've now published 8 books. An autobiography, thank you, 2 novels, 3 poetry books, a thoughts book, and a lyric book. What are we up to now? We're up to 219. My documentary came out in 219 called Suzi Quatro. If you haven't seen it, see it, because it's a really honest documentary. In fact, it's a funny thing. I was on tour in Australia, knocked on the door. A guy standing there, and he says hello, introduces himself, and he says, can I come in? I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to make a documentary about you. I said, sure, come on in. So we sit there, and he goes, but I gotta tell you right off, I'm not a fan. He said, no, I like your music. I'm just not a fan. So I said, well, that's fine. Then why do you want to make a documentary of it? And he said, well, because I saw you on a talk show, and you fascinated me. So he was the right guy. He wasn't going to kiss my ass. Okay. Now the last thing I'm going to tell you about, this is just, I'm going to get up here because I got to get to my bass in a minute, just before we do the next song, because I've had a very long career, a varied career, and this one knocked me for 6. I didn't see it coming. The year was 2016. I was standing on stage at Cambridge University in a cap and a gown, becoming honorary Doctor of Music. I didn't even graduate high school, that's at this point. So it's official, I am Dr. Quatro. The next time you want to see me, make an appointment. Okay, we're gonna go to another hit now, 1979, just get my boyfriend.